Welcome, I'm the DJC, and this is going to be a guide on how to do the Grasp of Avarice dungeon that just came out with the Bungie 30th anniversary release into Destiny 2. First thing you want to do is run over to the Loot Cave here in the Cosmodrome. Now, if you don't know what the Loot Cave is, the Loot Cave is going to be the area next to the Fallen Hive ship. Now, you'll know that it's the place that you need to go because there's going to be a bunch of Hive ads spawning from the cave indefinitely. Now, what you want to do is you want to kill all the hive ads and they'll start dropping engrams. Now, the engrams are the debuff slash buff that you need in order to progress through most of the dungeon. And once you pick it up, you'll see that you'll start getting stacks of Burden of Riches. Now, what Burden of Riches does at 10 stacks, it regens all of your abilities, including your super, and it has a 30-second timer. Now, the 30-second timer, once it's up, it actually does kill you. However, every stack of Burden of Riches that you pick up resets and extends the timer. At max, still 30 seconds. So, once you get enough stacks of Burden of Riches, it doesn't matter how many you get, you're going to have to run into the cave. Inside the cave, there is a crystal there. You want to stand by the crystal to deposit the stacks of Burden of Riches. Once enough stacks have been deposited into the crystal, the floor is going to give way, and then you will fall right into the dungeon. Once you already fall into the cave, all you have to do is just traverse the cave to where the area where the hive and the fallen are fighting. All you gotta do is just clear out the ads and run past there until you get to the area known as the rusted gangplank. Alright, once you make it into the rusted gangplank, there's going to be two doors to your right. You want to open the leftmost door. So once you open the left door, there's going to be a button on the bottom. You want to avoid the button and then just hit the console right across. Once you hit the console and you come out of the room, there's going to be a door that opens to your right. You want to go into the area where the door opens to the right. You want to jump across the chasm and make it to the other platform. There's another console there, but you don't want to hit that console because it will kill you. Once you do that, you do a 180, and you'll notice that underneath the middle platform, there's going to be a cubby where that you can jump into. You want to jump into that cubby and hit the console that's down there. So once you hit the console, you want to come out of the area and come out from where you came. And you'll notice if you look up, there's going to be 6 areas that are now open. So you want to scale up, go all the way to the top. And once you hit the top and you look at the 6 areas, the way that you came in to the rest of the game plank, you want to go with the top rightmost one. Once you hit the top right, you want to hit the button that's right there. And a latch will open up above you. Go in through the latch, and then you want to scale up once again. There'll be a platform that you can get onto with another button that will kill you, and you want to just scale across into the cave that's right there. Once you make it into the cave and make a left, you'll notice there's another control panel. You open up the control panel and it'll open your way into a Water Valley Windworks area. So all you have to do is, once you make a right, you can see the entire area, is you need to make it into the top leftmost area. So to do that, all you have to do is go into these little cubbies that have their own switches that'll open up the plates, just like the one that you use to open up the area. You want to make your way to the top left one. Once you make it into the top left area, all you have to do is look up. There's going to be a area at the top above you. You go up into that area. There's going to be another panel just like the other ones that you open. You want to hit that and come out. Now, when you come out, you'll notice that there's going to be a shrieker that spawns right in the middle of the area. Take out the shrieker, and behind the shrieker, you'll notice that the area to your left from where you came in from is now open. You want to make your way over to that left area, clear everything out. There's about a knight and 3 acolytes that spawn there. Once you do that, you hit the panel. The panel will open up the way right immediately across, and you make your way back over there, and again, 3 knights and, well, 1 knight and 3 acolytes will spawn. So once you clear that out, there's going to be 2 doors, one on your left and one to your and one right in front of you. You want to open up the door that's right in front of you, and that'll take you right into the next area. So once you come in through the door, there'll be a couple ads. There'll be 2 acolytes and a wizard. Clear out all the ads. And then in area 1, which is immediately to your right, there'll be a console that you can hit. Hit the console, and directly across from you is going to be area 3. Now, the area 3 doors will open, a wizard will spawn, and a bunch of acolytes will spawn with it. Clear out all the ads. Go into area 3. There will be a panel that you can activate. Activate the panel, and then in area 1, where you hit the first console, that area will open up. Once again, a wizard and some acolytes will spawn. Clear out the ads, hit the panel, and then area 2 will open, which is the area immediately to your left when you had came in from the door, or when you come out of the doors, is the area right to your left. Now, when that door opens, there will be some fallen that spawn, a couple drags, and a vandal with a scorch cannon. Clear the ads. Once you kill the vandal with the scorch cannon, it will drop the scorch cannon for you, and you pick up the scorch cannon, and directly across into area 4, there's going to be a receiver. You want to shoot the scorch cannon into the receiver, let it charge enough so that the door opens, and once it opens, you can run up the staircase. Now, you want to run, there is a couple cubbies on both sides of the staircase. You want to run up to the closest one to the top of the staircase, because there's a barrel that comes down through the staircase that will knock you, and if it doesn't kill you, it'll put you into an area underneath where you were so that you can't actually recover. So once you get past the barrel, and you go into the next room area, there's going to be some boxes that stack up that lead into a vent. You want to take the boxes up into the vent, make a right, it'll lead you into a chasm. Once you're in the chasm, just traverse across, and once you make it past the chasm, you actually get to your first encounter. Once you make it to this area, you should notice that there's a crystal right across where you place down the rally banner. Also, that the area is built like the Devil's Lair, Sepix Prime, Follow Boss area. Left side, back side, and right side are all similar to that area. There's also Hive and Fallen in this area that you need to do battle with. So on the left side, there are 4 acolytes that drop the Burden of Riches debuff for you, and on the back panel, there's 3 drags and a Fallen Vandal that has the Scorch Cannon that you'll need later in the encounter. So what you want to do is just clear out the acolytes first, make sure that they're dead, and then you can start your deposit early into the crystal that's at the front of the arena. And if the boss aggros on you, you can just sit behind the crystal to avoid most of the damage. Now, once you get your first early dunk off, you want to make sure that the Vandal gets taken down. With the help of the boss, of course, that will also do a lot of damage to it. So once you have the Scorch Cannon, you'll notice that on both the left sides and the right sides of the arena, there's going to be receivers for the Scorch Cannon. So you want to shoot the little receiver areas, let it charge up, and the doors will open. Whichever side you choose, the door will open. Now, in the doors, there's going to be a wave of Hive enemies that spawn. There's about 8 acolytes and 2 knights. The acolytes each drop 1 Burden of Riches, and the knights drop 3 each. Now, what I suggest for this part is that you use your roaming super in order to get rid of all the ads, especially the knights, because the knights can get really aggressive on you, and they have the splinter gun on them, so they can kill you if they run at you. So, also to remember is that once you get 10 stacks of Burden of Riches, it does refund all your abilities. So if you pace out your roaming super, or any super that you use for this area, you can get it back right before you go into the next area. So once all those ads are clear, there's about 14 motes in total that you can pick up, and you can go deposit into the crystal at the front of the arena. While you're going to deposit, there'll also be 2 separate waves of Thrall that can spawn, one on the left side and one on the right side, closer to the crystal. Now, you can kind of ignore the Thralls if they don't aggro onto you, because the Thralls can help you do damage against the marauding Vandal that has a Scorch Cannon, because that Vandal does have a lot of health. So once you deposit from either side, you just want to pick up this. You want to kill the Vandal once again, pick up the Scorch Cannon, and then whichever side you didn't do, shoot the Scorch Cannon into the receiver, and then activate the door. So one thing to notice is that on the left side, where you start with those acolytes that side is a bit harder to manage than the right side, because not only do the knights and the acolytes spawn, they're fairly close to you, but also the boss ogre does have a line of sight into that room. So if you're not careful, you can really get absolutely deleted by the ogre balls, which is why I suggest that you use your roaming super, especially for the super armor, to make sure that all of it is taken down fairly quickly. So once you have all your motes grabbed up, you have your 14 between you or your partners, and you go deposit into the crystal. The boss will throw his hands in the air like he just does not care, and that'll be the start of the damage phase. The damage phase is fairly quick, so you want to use as much high DPS weapons as you can. So 1K with particle destroyer. If you have a full fire team, you can also use one particle destroyer with 1K, or you can just run around with Gallahorns. Really, any fast high DPS weapons is what you want to take this boss down. And once the damage phase ends, you'll see that he'll get his immune shield back, and the bar over his health will be have the gray border on it once again. Once that happens, you just rinse and repeat until the boss is dead. And what can drop from this boss is not only his armor, but it's also the Matador shot. Once you get the yogurt balls, all you need to do is go straight. Follow the path and it'll lead you to the second encounter. Second encounter being a sparrow race similar to that of Scourge of the Past raid from back in the day. Now, unlike Scourge in the Past, you will not be racing against a giant flaming servitor. In this sparrow race, you actually have to defuse mines set by the Fallen. Each mine has about a 10 to 12 second timer, and also there's a inner ring and an outer ring. The inner ring making it diffuse faster, and then the outer ring diffusing at a normal time. So really, this encounter is simple. There are 4 mines that you need to defuse, and you just race and you go. Within the race, there are also buttons that you can press to extend the duration of the mine, similar to the buttons that you press in Scourge. And for every mine, there's 3 dregs that will shoot you as you're approaching each mine. So really, for this encounter, even though it's simple, it's very easy to mess up. And what you want to do is you want to find a route that has enough buttons that you can hit, along with abusing the fact that you can hop off your sparrow if it ever starts flaming, and then resummon another sparrow immediately. And the only other like real tip I can give you about this encounter is the thinner your sparrow, the better. Like the Calypso Sparrow or the Micro Mini Sparrow, either one from the Dawning or from Solstice makes this part a lot easier. But other than that, once you can actually complete the encounter and you finally defuse the D mine, what can drop from this encounter is the Claymore. Once you finish the Sparrow part and traverse the Crystal Cavern and drop down into the next area, you'll be at the third encounter, which is the Falling Shield. I know some people technically call this the second encounter. The Falling Shield is fairly simple. It's the gigantic object that's in the center of the entire cave system. So all you have to do when you drop down is there is another Vandal with a Scorch Cannon right next to the raid banner. You take a Scorch Cannon, you line up the launch pad, and you launch yourself towards one of the islands. Now, the only thing that you need to do for this encounter is locate where there is a immune servitor. There's about, I think, 6 locations the immune servitor can spawn. You find one, you locate it, you go towards him, right? Once you get to the area where the servitor is, ads will start to spawn. Each ad will start to drop the Burden of Riches debuff once again. Now you pick up the debuff, and it gives you about like 20 to 25 burdens deposited at the crystal in the center HUD for each island. Will break the shield for the servitor, the immune shield for the servitor. Now, once you kill the servitor, it will drop its core. What you need to do is you roll the core into the launch pad for each island. Roll the core into the launch pad, you line up the core with the center, and you use your Scorch Cannon, because there's also the Scorch Cannon Vandals on every island, and you just launch it. Activate the launch pad, and you launch it into the center. And that is literally the entire encounter. You do this 4 times. The 4th one always spawns in the same location at the bottom where you land the first time. I think it's like bottom right. Something like that. However, one thing to keep in mind for this encounter, if the core falls off of the map, you need to reset the encounter. Either wipe or leave or do something, because if you do currently in the current state, this is still week 1, it might change later. If you do the servitor cores out of order, it will crash your game, and we don't want that. So once again, all you have to do is locate the island where the servitor is, kill the ads, deposit the burdens, break the immune shield, use the core from the kill the servitor, use the core from the killed servitor, line it up onto the launch pad, and launch the core into the center. You do it 4 times, and that is the end of the encounter. So we've made it to the last encounter. Now, all you need to know to start the last encounter is to approach a Burden of Riches Engram in the center island. Once you approach it, the Engram will explode and it will spawn a boss captain. Things to note before I explain the encounter. 1. The water in this encounter can kill you. So if you touch the water in any way, you will just straight up die. Secondly, the boss also spawns 2 other bosses with him. Those are his crewmates. He spawns a Marauder and he spawns a Sniper Shank. You need to kill both of them before you even attempt to deposit any burdens into the crystal in the center. Now, the third thing that you need to keep in mind is that the boss Marauder can jump onto the islands and chase down and eat the burden of riches most that'll spawn if you spawn them before you kill the boss Marauder. Now, with that being said, we're going to get to explaining the encounter. The encounter itself is very simple. First, clear out all the ads on left, mid, and right. Once all the ads are clear, you can focus all of your DPS into the 2 bosses that are in the center, the boss Shank and the boss Marauder. Now, once the boss Marauder and the Shank are down, what you need to do is you use the Scorch Cannon to shoot the receptors on left, mid, and right. Once they're fully charged and they go up, they will drop the burdens of riches. There's about 25 burden of riches on the field, 10 on the left, 10 on the right, and 5 in the center. You want to pick up as many as you can and then head straight for mid. Once you head straight to mid, you want to stand right next to the crystal and deposit the burdens into the crystal. Now, one thing to note is the main boss, the captain, can still be shooting at you while you're depositing at the crystals. You want to make sure you use your radar and abuse the crystal as cover, or you can put up a Titan barricade if you are a Titan to deposit the crystals without having to worry about damage. Now, once you deposit the engrams into the crystal, you just rinse and repeat until the damage phase. Once the damage phase starts, the boss captain will teleport to the back of the island, and that will start the damage phase. The text will pop up, let you know, and you spend your time DPSing him. Now, once the damage phase finishes, the boss will teleport to the center of the center island, and he'll respawn both the Marauder, and the boss Shank. So all you do is you rinse and repeat, you clear out all the ads, Scorch Cannon, Vandal, and you just do it until the boss is dead. This encounter itself is fairly simple, and there's really nothing to it. It's just going through the motions of DPSing, grabbing the engrams, dunking in middle, while playing safe and avoiding the water. So with that being said, once you kill that final boss, you'll complete the dungeon, drop two. Once you kill the boss, it will drop two loot table items, both armor or a weapon, and that's really it. That's the entire dungeon. Again, the dungeon is fairly simple, but there are times that it can easily get messed up, making it harder on yourself. If you have any questions about any of the encounters in the dungeon, let me know in the comment section, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you guys in the next video.